Chapter 43. He concludes that the law had an end in Christ, who was born of the Virgin. As then circumcision began with Abraham, and the Sabbath and sacrifices and offerings and feasts with Moses, and it has been proved they were enjoined on account of the hardness of your people's heart, so it was necessary, in accordance with the Father's will, that they should have an end in him who was born of a virgin, of the family of Abraham, and tribe of Judah, and of David, in Christ the Son of God, who was proclaimed as about to come to all the world, to be the everlasting law and the everlasting covenant, even as the forementioned prophecies show. And we, who have approached God through him, have received not carnal, but spiritual circumcision, which Enoch and those like him observed. And we have received it through baptism, since we were sinners, by God's mercy, and all men may equally obtain it. But since the mystery of his birth now demands our attention, I shall speak of it. Isaiah then asserted in regard to the generation of Christ that it could not be declared by man in words already quoted, "Who shall declare his generation? For his life is taken from the earth. For the transgressions of my people was he led to death." The spirit of prophecy thus affirmed that the generation of him who was to die, that we sinful men might be healed by his stripes, was such as could not be declared. Furthermore, that the men who believe in him may possess the knowledge of the manner in which he came into the world, the spirit of prophecy by the same Isaiah foretold how it would happen thus. And the Lord spoke again to Ahaz, saying, "Ask for thyself a sign from the Lord thy God, in the depth or in the height." And Ahaz said, "I will not ask, neither will I tempt the Lord." And Isaiah said, "Hear then, O house of David, is it a small thing for you to contend with men? And how do you contend with the Lord? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive, and shall bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. Butter and honey shall he eat, before he knows or prefers the evil, and chooses out the good. For before the child knows good or ill, he rejects evil by choosing out the good. For before the child knows how to call father or mother, he shall receive the power of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria in presence of the king of Assyria. And the land shall be forsaken, which thou shalt with difficulty endure, in consequence of the presence of its two kings. But God shall bring on thee, and on thy people, and on the house of thy father, days which have not yet come upon thee, since the day in which Ephraim took away from Judah the king of Assyria. Now it is evident to all that in the race of Abraham, according to the flesh, no one has been born of a virgin, or is said to have been born of a virgin, save this our Christ. But since you and your teachers venture to affirm that in the prophecy of Isaiah it is not said, "Behold, the virgin shall conceive," but "Behold, the young woman shall conceive and bear a son," and since you explain the prophecy as if it referred to Hezekiah, who was your king, I shall endeavor to discuss shortly this point in opposition to you, and to show that reference is made to him who is acknowledged by us as Christ.